Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide, reaching you live from our network studio here in Abuja. I'm Joseph Johnson. Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated former Vice President Joe Biden on his election as new President of the United States. In a statement, the Nigerian leader says election is a significant reminder that democracy is the best form of government because it offers the people the opportunity to change their government by peaceful means, as it offers freedom of choice and the supremacy of the will of the people. As an experienced politician who had served as congressman for 4 decades and a vice president for 8 years, President Buhari says this is a remarkable track record that gives the U.S. hope that his election will add value to the presidency and world affairs. President Buhari also says Nigeria is looking forward to greater cooperation with the United States, especially at economic, diplomatic and political levels, including the war against terrorism. Although U.S. President Donald Trump hasn't conceded defeat, world leaders swiftly congratulated Joe Biden for his victory of the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Here is Justin Bemui with a compilation of the messages.
World leaders have extended their congratulations to President-elect Joe Biden after he was projected to be the winner of the 2020 presidential election. Many of the leaders have been thrown off course by the unpredictability of President Donald Trump's leadership style, and many of them also have interacted with Biden before, as he has a long history of delving into foreign policy as a member of the U.S. Senate from 1973 to 2009. And as Vice President from 2009 to 2017. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tweeted in both English and French to say congratulations to Biden and Harris, remarking on the unique relationship between the two countries. Also, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson congratulated his potential future counterpart, particularly Harris, on her historic achievement. Johnson added brief comments saying he looks forward to working closely together on shared priorities. In the same vein, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke with pride of Harris' path-breaking success, as Harris, in addition to being the first woman Vice President-elect and first black Vice President-elect, will become the first Indian-American Vice President-elect. Following Trudeau's example, French President Emmanuel Macron tweeted out a statement in English and French. While Macron's statement was little more than a general congratulations, he did speak of the work that will lie ahead, saying that the two nations will have to overcome today's challenges. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen was even more prescriptive in her kudos note, as he said the European Commission stands ready to intensify cooperation with the new administration and the new Congress to address pressing challenges they face. This is just as the President of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki Mohammed, also congratulated the President and Vice President-elect, as he said the African Union Commission looks forward to a new, stronger USA-Africa relationship based on mutual respect and shared values of international cooperation. Justin Bemui, NTA News.
And former President Olusegun Obasanjo has joined millions in the United States of America and the rest of the world, actually, to congratulate President-elect Joe Biden for his victory. Chief Obasanjo said President-elect Joe Biden must restore confidence in the role of America as the largest economy in the world, which has a very significant responsibility for peace, security, stability, and progress. You also congratulate Vice President-elect Kamala Harris as the first female Vice President of the U.S., saying Africans are proud of her success. Now let's bring you some of the day's other news. ECOWAS Parliament has recommended regional parliamentary support for member states to ratify the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. This followed a deliberation on the prospects of achieving implementation of the Free Trade Agreement within the context of cross-border threats. Onengie Fineface reports that other outcomes of the delocalized meeting of joint committees in Cotonou will be presented to plenary for consideration.
Having received information on the viability of the African Continental Free Trade Area, members of Parliament considered the initiative as a needed step to create a continental market for goods and services with free movement of people and capital. In drawing the curtains on the delocalized meeting, Parliament is resolved to promote the diffusion of information on the need to implement the free trade area for intra-Africa trade, better harmonize trade liberalization, and achieve continental economic growth.
They lamented the failure of countries to observe their obligations under agreements. Example, unilateral closure of borders, recognizing free movement of goods as a major plank of integration. They appreciated that integration will be empty if there is no free movement of goods.
Parliament expects member states to fulfill their obligations, conclude national implementation strategies, and place mechanisms to monitor the implementation of the AfCFTA.
That the ECOWAS Parliament, working with all stakeholders, will ensure that the objectives of the ACTA are achieved to their fullest. We are aware that it requires our genuine commitment and actions. Hence, the onus is on us to prevail on our states to take bold steps at tackling those issues that hinder free trade across our region and continent.
The meeting also recommends institutionalizing a consultation framework between Parliament, civil society, and the private sector to drive the implementation. In Cotonou, Benin Republic, Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
Having a country we all deserve can only be attained when all Nigerians work together in spite of existing differences. Support Nigeria Initiative and its partners highlighted this and the need for attitudinal change at its Patriot Assembly with the theme Building Nigeria Together. Haman Jabani reports.
Support Nigeria Initiative came into being to work with government at all levels in addressing the issues of disunity, criminality, youth unemployment, rivalry among ethnic nationalities, religious discrimination and crisis, falling standard of education, and unwholesome corrupt practices. How does it plan to achieve all this? Collaborating to industrialize, educate, feed, sensitize, and reorientate Nigeria, and this maiden edition of Patriot Assembly is one of such drive.
In trying to build the nation, we feel that we should create a program, reorientate Nigeria. And under this program, we should have a forum. We should create an avenue where people will come together so that we can be talking to them. We can be talking to ourselves. We can be discussing and in the process changing our mindset.
Religious institutions have a role to play directly or indirectly in ensuring that our society is better off than it currently is.
The NGOs and the CBOs and faith-based organizations, all with the purpose of ensuring that where we cannot provide this education, they collaborate with us to do that.
The initiative, however, said youth engagement is the first and fastest way of addressing most of the social problems confronting the country, while commending the zeal of Buhari's administration at engaging youths through various social investment programs. Haman Jabani, NTA News.
Well, we're still tracking the aftermath of NSAS protest for you as the federal government delegation visits Lagos. Now let's join Adiola for these and other stories from our Lagos Network Center. Adiola.
Thank you, Joseph. The federal government, Southwest governors and traditional rulers, stakeholders' engagement on issues bordering on security, good governance, the economy, especially youth restiveness in the Southwest region has commenced in Lagos. Chief of Staff to the President reiterated President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to security of lives and property of every Nigerian by engaging stakeholders in all regions in finding lasting solutions to problems confronting the nation. He also highlighted Governor Sanwo-Olu's graphic presentation of the damages during the fallout from the NSAS protest, stating that the youths have been ignored for a long time. Southwest Governors Forum Chairman Rotimi Akeredolu, in his remark, reiterated the commitment of the Southwest Governors to peace and positive engagement of youth in the region. And on parts of the traditional rulers, Oni of Ife called for a structure that closes the gap between traditional rulers and political office holders as the stakeholders continue their deliberations into finding lasting solutions to security, youth unemployment, economy, and good governance. They all agreed that matters brought to the fore would be treated unanimously and the recommendations taken seriously at the end of the day. And the fact-finding team inaugurated by the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, in the aftermath of NSAS has commenced operations in Lagos. Chairman Committee for Assessment of Losses Suffered by the Nigeria Police Force, Abutu Yaro, says the panel will investigate the immediate and remote causes of the violence that engulfed some parts of the country during the NSAS protests. Nosa Usula reports.
The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, came on the heels of the 2-week-long peaceful NSAS protest, which later degenerated into violence, impunity, loss of lives and properties across the country. The Chairman Committee for Assessment of Losses Suffered by the Nigeria Police Force, Abutu Yaro, said the stock-taking mission is to properly document the losses and cost implication of the facilities, weaponry and other assets destroyed during the unrest.
The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, in his wisdom and in response to the situation on the ground, decided to set up this committee to assist in collating police, material and personnel losses.
Abutu also added that the force has commenced recovery of some of the ammunition carted away during the unfortunate incidents.
We are equally tasked to use this opportunity to assuage the feeling of our police officers and encourage them to return to work with utmost determination and integrity to keep the security apparatus in firm stand.
The committee has 3 weeks to submit its findings. In Lagos, Nosa Usula, NTA News.
And still on the police, one issue that has taken center stage in enhancing security of lives and property of Nigerians is that of community policing. Though yet to be fully implemented, more efforts are being made to prepare officers of the Nigerian police force ahead of time by affording them the opportunity to learn and master at least one of Nigeria's indigenous languages. Annie Daniels reports.
Thursday, Friday,
Those are some officers of the Nigerian Police Force Lagos Command showcasing their knowledge of Yoruba language outside their mother tongues. These officers, alongside several others, have spent 3 months learning either Igbo, Yoruba or Hausa languages.
Mbololo, where are you going? Mumbo, I'm coming.
By the time you begin to speak Hausa with me, and I don't understand Hausa, I don't know where to start, because it's only me in the station. So I will not even know how to explain to my boss what he's saying.
It will enhance us to discharge our duty very well.
The aim of this program is to foster unity, not just in the barracks, but in the nation at large, and enhance community policing.
Every barracks is a mini Nigeria. So it's like taking the major Nigerian languages to them so that they can use the languages learned to relate with the host community.
So if you are a stranger and you go to a place to work and you know how to speak their language, it will make them excited that I see a stranger speaking our language. So it will invite them or attract them to you.
Respondents insist that reviving and promoting the use of Nigeria's indigenous languages, both at home and workplace, will promote the dream of having and uniting the nation. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
It's time for us to go on a break. Nationwide will continue thereafter. Do stay with us.
scorecard like no other. Government has put in place measures and initiatives principally targeted at youths, women, and the most vulnerable groups in our society. These included broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years, the creation of 75 billion naira National Youth Investment Fund to provide opportunities for the youths, and the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Survivor Fund, through which government is A. Paying 3-month salaries of the staff of 100,000 micro, small and medium enterprises. B. Paying for the registration of 250,000 businesses at the Corporate Affairs Commission. C. Giving a grant of 30,000 naira to 100,000 artisans and guaranteeing market for the product of traders. These are in addition to many other initiatives such as farmer money, trader money, market money, N-Power, N-Tech, and N-Agro. These and more in spite of a recession and a global pandemic.
The National Assembly Joint Committee on Appropriations hereby announces the postponement of the 5th National Budget hearing that was scheduled to hold on Monday and Tuesday, 9th and 10th November 2020 due to COVID-19 safety protocols. In the meantime, all stakeholders willing to submit memoranda could do so at the Secretariat of the committees in Room SG10, 0 floor, White House, Senate, and Room 16, House of Representatives, 1st floor. The Joint Committee regrets any inconvenience caused as a result of this postponement. Senator Barau I. Jibrin, Chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriations, and Honorable Mukhtar Aliu Batara, Chairman, House Committee on Appropriations, announces.
Dialogue, empathy, love, and unity. These are vital components of nation building.
For all to be well, we appeal that we should refrain from volatile, provocative, inciting messages and language.
Let's build and not destroy.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
You're still watching NTA Nationwide, and we are back in Abuja. World Radiography Day is celebrated every November 8. The essence is to mark the anniversary of the discovery of X radiation in 1895. The day is also being used globally to promote radiography as a career and its vital contributions to health care. The day provides opportunity to increase public awareness on diagnostic imaging and radiation therapy. The theme for the 2020 World Radiography Day is elevating patient care and artificial intelligence. Radiographers are essential in elevating patient care. And to talk further on the World Radiography Day, I have with me in the studio Daniel Onaji, consultant radiographer. You're welcome to NTA Nationwide.
Thank you, Joseph, for having me.
All right, so the 2020 World Radiography Day is being used globally to promote radiography as a career. Would you say that Nigeria as a country has enough personnel for this job?
I would say yes and no, Joseph. Yes, because we are producing enough radiographers, but no, because we are not retaining them. Most Nigerian radiographers qualify, and there's a global need for radiographers who mostly go to the UK. And the reason why we have most radiographers migrate to the UK as soon as they qualify is because of the unfavorable condition of employment and retention, promotion, and career pathway that exist in Nigeria. They have greater opportunities, so most of them find their way abroad, especially the UK.
Okay, so the thrust of this year's theme is elevating patient care with artificial intelligence. How would you rate the performance of radiographers in delivering healthcare services in the country using artificial intelligence, of course?
Nigerian radiographers by training are superb, and that's why they are sought after all over the world, from Ireland to Britain to Scotland, US, Canada, and America. Nigerian radiographers are sought after because they are very well qualified. Unfortunately, artificial intelligence, as you may know, is a broad-based term that is used to encompass the theory of computer and development to design machines that carry out tasks that normally require human intelligence, like image perception, image capturing, distribution, diagnosis, and prediction. Given where we are as a country, where most Nigerian radiographers find their way abroad because of the unfavorable work condition back home here, I would have said that we are still a long way from artificial intelligence compared to other countries.
Talking about that long way and what is supposed to be done, public awareness, let's appraise that. What would you appraise public awareness on diagnostic imaging and, of course, radiation therapy in Nigeria?
Public awareness is growing, and we hope it gets better. Unfortunately, we have a lot of problems in the health sector, like you are aware. We have a problem of in-house fighting among radiographers, among radiologists, among other healthcare professionals. So I would say that we're getting better, but we're not there yet. Because it's so surprising to hear some people still think that radiographers are photographers. Whereas radiographers are a group of professionals who are legally and professionally trained to acquire medical images, manage them, archive them, translate them to data, which is what we use to build the algorithm that we impute into artificial intelligence, where it is working in other parts of the world at the moment. So specifically speaking, we in Nigeria today, the best way to, the beginning to change the current narrative where we don't have access to digital imaging, we need to improve on that to acquire these images and archive them and store them and build algorithm that we can put into artificial intelligence machine that will be able to help us and improve healthcare delivery to patients. And looking at radiographers particularly, the way to build artificial intelligence is it calls to question the issue of role and role extension for radiographers. We can't talk about using artificial intelligence if we are not going to expand the current role of radiographers consistent with what is global best practices, where radiographers, being the people who are licensed to acquire image and process them, should be able to interpret them. All over the world in the last 20 years, more than 20 years ago in the UK, radiographers interpret X-ray, they interpret mammography, they interpret, now they're expanding their role to CT scan and MRI interpretation. We are not there yet in Nigeria because...
Okay, yeah, I was just about to come to that. You talked a lot about some obstacles and trying to put up the radiographers up to speed with emerging trends and all that. What are other challenges you've experienced so far that is, forming as an obstacle to, giving the radiographers a edge?
Yes, we have problem of equipment update. Most hospitals are still struggling to run basic CT scan. Most hospitals don't have MRI scan. And this is the top of the range modality for radiographers. We need to upscale our equipment acquisition nationwide for hospitals to be able to give the best of services and improve patient care. So we need hospitals to have more CT centers, more MRI centers. So government needs to put more money to buy this equipment.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel Onaje, consultant radiographer. Thank you very much indeed for coming on NTA Nationwide.
Thank you, Joseph, for having me.
All right. Okay, let's get you other stories now. More than 500 pregnant women and nursing mothers in Nasarawa State benefited from distribution of hygiene packs under the initiative of the First Lady Pet Project. Future Assured. From Lafia, Abigail Bashi reports.
Items distributed to women in Lafia and Doma local government areas include hygiene kits made up of cosmetics, toiletries, oil wash and detergents. While appreciating the First Lady, Charity Antoni and Zainab Umar appeal for more support to women in rural communities.
The essence of every government is to see that all the citizens are happy.
Represented by the Special Assistant Zainab Kasim, the First Lady says the initiative is in line with objectives of the foundation to assist the needy.
This program is going on in all the 36 states in the country. During the lockdown, we visited various states with food palliatives, and now we are taking hygiene palliatives around the country.
Wife of Nusra Governor Hadia Slifat Abdullahi Sili, represented by the wife of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Sheila Akabi, and the Executive Chairman, Nusra State Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Muhammad Adis, say the initiative is a major move towards improving maternal and child health in the state.
We're looking at our mothers here in the part of this state, that most of them actually needs to be helped medically.
The First Lady's delegation paid homage on the Anduma of Doma, Alhaji Amadou Aliu Oga. The Royal Father applauds the Buhari administration for initiating programs for the benefit of the people and called for sustenance. In Lafia, Abigail Bashi, NTA News.
As the national body of the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, warm up for its elections on 14th of November 2020 in Minna, Niger State, Ladi Bala, a staff of the Nigerian Television Authority NTA, has indicated interest in vying for the presidential post of the association. Ayina J. Alta tells us more.
Taking a tour around the various state chapters of NAWOJ nationwide to make her intention known, Ladi Bala, who is from Adamawa State, has finally arrived at the FCT, where delegates were on ground to hear her presidential manifesto revelation, which includes building a secretariat for NAWOJians, promoting unity and peace among NAWOJ members, welfare, training and capacity building, advocacy and empowerment, among other promises.
If given the platform, there's a lot that I can bring to bear on NAWOJ, because I've seen where the gaps are. I've seen that NAWOJ as a professional body ought to do better than what it is doing now.
Former chairman of NUJ and chairman of the Ladi Bala campaign team, Comrade Amos Dunia, says getting a committed, experienced, focused and accountable leader is the best thing that will ever happen to NAWOJ at this time.
Among all the contestants, if you go and check, there's none that has remained steadfast, committed and dedicated to the cause of NAWOJ in Nigeria among the four contestants like Ladi Bala.
Former president of NAWOJ, Evelyn Onyilo, says Ladi has gathered the experience and is qualified to come on board, having served as secretary of the association for 2 consecutive tenures of 3 years each.
NTA has groomed a lot of us to be professionally sound, and I know that if she wins, she will definitely bring something to the table for NAWOJ that will move NAWOJ forward.
Created in 1989 to handle issues peculiar to women media practitioners, NAWOJ, within the umbrella body of the National Union of Journalists NUJ, has existed for 31 years. Ayena J. Auta, NTA News.
The Director General of the All Progressives Congress Governors Forum, Saliu Mohammed Lukman, has appealed to leaders of the APC at all levels to liberate themselves from fear of citizens' engagement and resolve internal disagreements. In a statement, the Director General says now is the time for the APC to take necessary steps to open up the party's structures and encourage patriotic Nigerians, members and leaders of organized groups to join the party. The decision of the APC caretaker and extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee to commence process of membership registration and verification, the DG says, is an advantage to mobilize Nigerians across the country to join the party. The statement also says opening up the structures of the party to accommodate more people, the forum believes will be an added advantage. Governor Makinde inaugurates Committee for Oyo State Development Plan. This and more from our Ibadan Network Center, where Kemi is standing by. Hello, Kemi. Over to you.
Hello, Joseph, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. A steering committee for Oyo State 20 Years Development Plan has been inaugurated by the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde. Correspondent Emir has details of the report.
Inaugurating the steering committee for the State Development Plan, the governor, who is the chairman of the committee, said the Paysetter state need an homegrown long plan to transform its socio-economic development. His administration, he said, envisioned a 20-year world-class developmental plan for the state with effect from 2021 to 2040.
This plan is a long-term plan that looks beyond our administration, which is why it is tagged Oyo State Development Plan 2021 to 2040. So creating this plan is a requisite to building a stronger and more interdependent Oyo State.
Other stakeholders who spoke at the occasion, including the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Adeniyi Fanito, said the State Development Plan is an aspect of transparency and motivational governance designed to set out a clear vision and specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time-bound goal for the future of the state. Other members of the steering committee include the Deputy Governor of the state, Rauf Olaniyan, the Secretary to the State Government, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Head of Service, among others. The event was witnessed by government officials, commissioners, lawmakers, and members of various pressure groups, as well as religious leaders. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
The need for family to play its vital role in the eradication of drug abuse among youths has been emphasized. This came to the fore at a forum of stakeholders on control and administration of drugs in Ibadan. Dayo Goshola has more.
Statistics from the World Health Organization reveal that over 1 million people died each year due to counterfeit drug, while 15% adult population in Nigeria are involved in drug abuse. The menace is identified as one of the global threats to creativity and development. Therefore, a one-day seminar was held in Ibadan to address the scourge and the distribution of substandard health products as well as drug abuse among Nigerian youth.
If everybody bring up their children in the ways of the Lord and train them on all moral issues, our society will be good for it.
We have a lot of issues on drug abuse, and it is right time that we control the youth and adults from abusing substances.
It has a devastating effect on the body system, organs. It destroys lives, it damages vital organs.
Experts have therefore identified family as an integral part of the society that has the ability to stem the tide of the scourge. In Ibadan, Dayo Gunshola, NTA News.
And that does it from Ibadan. It's back to Joseph in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide.
Thank you, Kemi. Preparations are on top gear for the coronation of the 19th Fulani Emir of Zazzau, Alhaji Ahmad Nuhu Bamali. Abdullahi Mohammed is standing by at the Muhammadu Aminu Polo Ground, Zaria, for a live update.
you, Joseph, for joining us here on the polo ground here. We are begin by showing you exactly what is going on here. If you look at what's going on behind me here, you can see a lot of equipment being brought in here, and then over there, apart from the equipment, you can see again banners being put up. And this way, take a look at what is happening this way. You see you have
We apologize for the poor audio quality from Zara there, where our correspondent Abdullahi Mohammed is at the Muhammadu Aminu Polo Ground, was just about to give us some update on preparations, being on top gear for the coronation of the 19th Fulani Emir of Zazzau, Alhaji Ahmad Nuhu Bamali. But if we can re-establish the connections, we certainly will bring him, to give us the updates we're looking out for. In the meantime, the Ministry of Transportation is to complete the fencing of the Abuja-Kaduna railway line, in 2021 for improved security of passengers. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, was speaking at the 2021 Budget Defense session of the National Assembly. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, in company of the Minister of State for Transportation Gbemisola Saraki, arrives Senate conference room for 2021 budget defense before National Assembly committees on land transport, marine and harbour. 205.1 billion naira is the capital proposal for the ministry. 204 billion for land transport, while 845 million is for the marine sector.
The ministry, in its budget proposal, has presented amounts required for completion of some of the projects by year 2021, while others may span up to 2022.
The 2021 budget of the ministry will pursue federal government's priority projects on achieving intermodal railway transportation network. This includes the construction of a 378-kilometer single-track standard gauge rail between Kano, Katsina, Jibia to Niger Republic.
Under our railway modernization program, the ministry is happy to report that the construction of Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge line has reached 92%. We will be needing adequate funds to be provided in the 2021 budget proposal to facilitate the completion of the project.
Your ministry is a very important ministry, although all ministries are important, but given the quantum of money being allocated to the Ministry of Transportation in the budget.
Meanwhile, the Permanent Secretary, State House, Tijani Omar, has appealed to the Senate Committee on Federal Character to approve the construction of the presidential wing of the State House Clinic, which he says is of strategic importance to the nation.
It is considered a legacy project for us. Legacy because we want to leave something down so that, those who come after us would enjoy it.
It want to leave a legacy in the State House that a clinic that we requested was done within the shortest time at our own disposal.
2021 budget scrutiny at the National Assembly continues. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government is set to introduce a robust agricultural mechanization program aimed at boosting national food production. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed says the $1.2 billion that will finance the program is captured in the 2021 budget. Musa Babaliu has details.
Nigeria is ranked among the few countries with the least mechanized farming activities, below the United Nations standard. Investigation shows that the operational tractors in the country are not up to 100,000.
Tractors we require in this country to make our land very functional in terms of number is over 1 million tractors. But presently, I can tell you, hardly we can have serviceable tractors in this country that are up to 100,000.
To close the gap, the federal government is introducing mechanization support projects in partnership with the Brazilian government. Brazil, under its More Food program, is providing Nigeria with $1.2 billion. Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed appears before the House Committee on Finance to defend the proposed loan.
It's meant for government to borrow, to on-lend, to tractor assembly plants, to on-land to businesses that will set up processing centers at senatorial level as well as at local government levels.
It is designed to enable Nigeria acquire 10,000 units of tractors and 50,000 units of assorted implements and equipment for assembly in Nigeria.
The Nigerian government and Brazilian government agreed that it's in-kind loan, not cash. The in-kind equipment is leased out to the service center operator, who participates in deciding what type and size of equipment is fit for the services in his or her local government or their local government.
100,000 young entrepreneurs are to benefit from the project directly and 5 million indirectly. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Well, I've just been told that we've been able to sort out the sound challenge we had a little earlier when we joined Abdullahi Mohammed at the Muhammadu Aminu Polio ground in Zaria, which, of course, is about to give us a live update on the preparations being on top gear for the coronation of the 19th Fulani Emir of Zauzau. Abdullahi, let's hear you.
It's connected now.
Can you hear me? Well, as you can see, we're having a little bit of a challenge with that sound. What a shame. But for now, let's just move on. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund has initiated a paradigm shift in its needs assessment, intervention and monitoring of projects in the nation's tertiary institutions. The agency equally announced that e-learning will be given priority in all its intervention across Nigeria. Chairman Board of Trustees TET Fund, Kashim Ibrahim Imam, stated this during an inspection of TET Fund-sponsored projects at the University of Port Harcourt, Rivers State.
Chairman Board of Trustees TET Fund Kashim Ibrahim Imam during the inspection tour of some sponsored TET Fund projects at the University of Port Harcourt restated the determination of the intervention agency to boost academic profile of Nigerian universities through provision of the required resources. Kashim Ibrahim Imam also disclosed the readiness of TET Fund to boost virtual learning in view of the present realities of COVID-19.
Going forward, we are going to consult and consult widely. We also will take practical measures to ensure that we are getting value for money, that the funds that is given to the various universities is not wasted. The Board of Trustees of TET Fund is very keen on facilitating e-learning across the various university campuses.
Vice Chancellor, University of Port Harcourt, Professor Stephen Okodudu, while appreciating TET Fund for its numerous projects, described it as the hope of tertiary institutions in the country.
As our projects are expanding, so our electricity needs also are expanding. The current generators we have cannot carry the DC, but the board chairman has said that there's something more creative they are trying to do, create an opportunity for power generation capacity for each university.
An interactive section earlier held between the TET Fund delegation and high-ranking officers of the University of Port Harcourt where salient issues that would improve the academic performance of the institution were discussed. From the University of Port Harcourt, Chidie Bere Onyea, NTA News.
The National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency says the Federal Ministry of Environment is in collaboration with the Aviation Ministry to ensure adequate facilities to contain fire outbreak, and oil spills are in place in the 4 airports in the country. The Director General of National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, Idris Musa, said this when reacting on the OVH tank farm fire incident in Lagos. Kenneth Nanim has more.
As such. The briefing by the DG Nosra is coming in the wake of Thursday's OVH tank farm fire incident in Lagos. explaining collaborative efforts by the Ministry of Environment and Aviation towards improving capacity of relevant authorities to adequately contain such emergencies. The DG said specific areas have been secured in 4 major airports in the country for the purpose.
We have revamped that and we have gone 60-70% of it.
In setting the record straight on the fire outbreak, the herdsman of Nosra explained that the farm has a total of 34 million litres storage capacity for various petroleum products, but the particular one gutted by fire is a 10 million litre PMS tank, which has about 7 million litres at the time of the incident. He alleged fears of further spread or explosion as the fire is being contained through collaborative efforts.
What we do is to make sure that the body of the tank is cool, and to that extent, a lot of water was deployed, wetting the sides of the tank. To the glory of God, I think that is being contained. Not fully contained, but at least it's been possible now to make sure that it does not extend. Downstream sectors and midstream that have facilities around that place have also taken into consideration and put in place their contingency plans.
Investigation to ascertain the cause of the inferno, he said, is still ongoing. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Chineye in Enugu Network Center has the next set of reports.
Thank you, Joseph, and welcome to Enugu. President Muhammadu Buhari has been commended for his speedy approach in handling the issues arising from the NSAS protests and sending a high-powered delegation from the presidency to hear the voice of the people of the Southeast Zone. Governors and leaders of various groups in the zone gave the appreciation while presenting a list of some pressing demands of the people during an interactive session with the presidential delegation led by Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari. Susan Eze has the report.
According to the leader of the delegation, Professor Gambari, is vital and necessary for the federal government to hear directly and better understand the feelings of the people on the germane issues raised by the recent NSAS protesters and other national matters. As credible as the issues raised by the Nigerian youths are, the delegation warned on the dangers of fake news and wrong use of the social media.
My message will be incomplete if I do not recognize the very strong and patriotic efforts of the Southeastern governors and traditional rulers in ensuring that the fallout of the NSAS protests, which began with a legitimate grounds, did not spiral out of control in various states and communities.
We must not allow social media to become a platform for disintegration.
The Southeast governors and representatives of various groups in the zone during the interactive session thanked Mr. President for the various development projects going on in the Southeast zone and made some demands. Key among them were the call for Igbo presidency come 2023 and the need for additional states in the Southeast zone.
We hereby demand the construction and maintenance of federal roads in the Southeast, as most of them have turned death traps.
Request our President, the father of our nation, to please look into the demands of these various groups of our people as presented today. Review same with a view to solving them.
Members of the delegation, including the Inspector General of Police, had a robust discussion with the governors, ministers, women, youth, religious and traditional rulers from the Southeast zone. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
For effective policing of the society, the support and cooperation of the members of the public is indispensable. Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 13, Dammalam Mohammed, made the observation in Enugu during a tour of duty to assess the level of damage on security infrastructure within the command during the destruction that followed the NSAS protests. Again, Susan Eze has details.
Buildings and vehicles totally burnt down, shattered windows, broken furniture and fittings, and other sites of total destruction stared the AIG in the face as he took a tour
of the havoc done by the hijackers of the NSAS protest. Visibly pained by the level of damage on security infrastructure, the AIG relayed the message of peace and encouragement from the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Abubakar Damu, to the officers and men of the force. He enjoined them not to be discouraged by the recent events, but to carry on their constitutional duties without fear of intimidation. While expecting the best from the officers, the AIG also called for the cooperation of the public to meet the demands of community policing.
We also urge them to do police work with women first. They should avoid issue of illegal arrest and detention. They should avoid issue of torture, extradition of killings, criminal extortion of money from members of Command.
And to our IG, despite all the shaking and the tumultuous moment that we experienced, he gave us courage, he calmed us down, he did not forsake us, and he encouraged us to defend ourselves and defend the innocent citizens of this country.
AIG Zone 13, Damala Mohammed, is in charge of Anambra and Enugu State Police Commands. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And that is it from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Joseph in Abuja after this commercial break. Do stay.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
You're still watching NTA Nationwide. Let's bring sports now. West Brom lost by a lone goal to Tottenham in